Now, on the defensive side of the ball, not so much action. And I think that's because we have a fair, like, I know the numbers didn't show it last year, but I think we have a pretty solid core of guys on defense. Bobby Okereke, Kayvon, Sexy Dexy, Deontay Banks, right? There's a good kind of core group of guys there where we have one solid dude per unit that we believe in and that we've invested in and we have great hopes for. So we didn't make a ton of moves on the defensive side of the ball. We just made one huge, massive move in trading for Brian Burns, the Carolina Panthers pass rusher. Panthers, by all accounts, from everyone that has chimed in on this, they got fleeced yet again, which is crazy. And there are people that are, not happy down in Carolinas. And I can understand why, because they've had opportunities to really pull off some great moves and transactions and have failed to do so. And then the transactions and that they do engage in, that they do pull the trigger on, are pretty piss poor. So God bless you, Carolina. But thank you. I appreciate it. So Carolina sent Pro Bowl defensive end Brian Burns to the Giants in exchange for the number 39 overall pick in the 2024 NFL draft. So that was one of the two picks, one of the two second-round picks that we have. I don't know if it's the one we got for Leonard Williams. Doesn't matter. And a 2025 fifth-round pick. The Panthers will also have an additional fifth-round pick swap. I mean, that's like crazy. I know people are saying, well, that there was some talk about like, wow, we actually traded Leonard Williams. We ended up trading Leonard Williams for Brian Burns, who's probably an upgrade. But they don't take into consideration that Brian Burns signed a pretty healthy contract extension. 5 years worth up to $150 million, including $87.5 million guaranteed, and contains an additional $9 million in incentives, which it's just like, I'll never understand that. And the players get so excited about it when they get the incentive. And it's just like, and maybe I'd love to have an NFL player explain it to me. When you have almost $90 million guaranteed, does $9 million move the fucking needle at all? I just don't. It's weird. Like, to get more excited about an incentive that is drastically less than the total, I guess, yeah. I don't know. This is why I'm in debt. He's now the second highest paid edge rusher in the league and the fourth highest paid defensive player. Whoa. And that, I guess we still have the second round pick from the Williams trade. So we got rid of the higher of our 2 second round draft picks. Burns is going to be 26 in April. Drafted by Carolina in 2019 with the number 16 pick overall. Over 80 games in 5 seasons, he recorded 46 sacks and a career high 12.5 in 2022, earned a Pro Bowl nod in 2021 and 2022. 6'5", 250. Had 8 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and 32 solo tackles in 2023, which doesn't exactly jump off the page. But I think they're 2-time Pro Bowler, had a big year the previous year. So what are his ranks from 2019, his first year, through 2023, the last year, in terms of pressure percentage, sacks, and pressures? Glad you asked. 12.6% pressure percentage, which was 41st in the league. 46 sacks, which is 12th in the league, and then 246 pressures, which is 21st in the league. And a lot of people, I think the haters, it feels similar to the Bobby Okereke signing in free agency last year, where it was like, okay, this guy has shown flashes and promise here and there, but like, really, we're gonna pay him that for the hope that he'll exceed those expectations? And he pretty much did. Rough start first quarter of the season, but like second quarter or 3 quarters, he really showed. He really played to his contract value. So I think that's a similar situation with Brian Burns, where it's like, okay, he's 12th now, but I think he's gonna get in the top 10. That's the hope, is that he'll be top 10 in pressures, sacks, and pressure percentage. So, and here's what we're talking about with the Panthers, like just shooting themselves in the paw. The Rams reportedly offered 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick for Burns at the 2022 trade deadline, but the Panthers declined. The 2 other big pass rushers that were on the Giants' radar, Grenard, signed a 4-year, $76 million contract with the Vikings, and Bryce Huff, who's a 25-year-old defensive end for the Jets, reportedly agreed to a 3-year, $51.1 million deal with the goddamn Eagles. Whew. So the cap hit for 2024 will be $23.5 million for Brian Burns before maxing out at $30.5 million in the final 2 years of the deal. It's a lot of money, but I think you pair him with fucking Kayvon Thibodeau and Dexter Lawrence, and maybe even Azeez Ojulari if he's feeling up to it. I think I saw people posting pictures of like the NASCAR formation, when we had Kiwanuka and Tuck and Umanura, and so if we could get back to that, I think you'd have a lot of people grinning ear to ear, homie. Former Giants GM David Gentleman, far from it, right? Dave Gettleman tried to trade up for Burns in the 2019 draft and was unable to execute a deal. So he stood pat and took Dexter Lawrence with the 17th pick. And look, oh boy, and the sands of time have brought them back together again. He's missed only 3 games in 5 seasons. Let's hope he sticks to that. But given the fact that MetLife is cursed and the turf is the worst, we'll see. The Athletic gave this trade grade an A. So I agree. Though it does give me sweaty flashbacks to the Olivier Vernon contract, where it's like year 1, and this is like what bothers me about free agency so much, and I think a lot of people are like they get so amped and psyched about free agency, and it's like it so rarely pays off. Let's get back to just having killer draft after killer draft after killer draft. Can we get back to that? That's how you win, through the draft, not through trades and free agency. As many people have noted, it's to supplement. That's the supplement, right? What you already have. But what we've been doing over the past, I don't know how many years, is that whenever we have the cap space, we blow it all on pricey free agents, big splashy free agents that come in and do well the first year, and then the second, third year are just like decline. So let's hope that's not the case with Brian Burns. I mean, the fact that he's only 26 helps. The fact that he's had more than one good season of production, unlike Olivier Vernon, which is like, I think he just had the one good year. This could be a huge move for us because, that defense, I put out a video about it. It's inconsistent a lot of the time, where it's like, what are we dealing with here? Are you guys like the guys that can hold an opposing team to 3 points and you blitz like crazy and you're applying pressure like nuts and like teams can't run on you, or are you getting gouged for 40? It was I don't think I've ever seen a more disparity game to game with a unit than I did with the 2023 Giants defense, where it's like you can absolutely shut down opposing offenses one week and then just get blown out the next week. It's like. All right. So here's to hoping that both Kayvon and Brian Burns can stay on the field the entire season. And if they can, playoffs. And then the last move is to try and alleviate or give us some relief for losing one Xavier McKinney to the Green Bay Packers. X-Man signed a 4-year, $68 million contract with Green Bay. The Athletic gave the move an A grade, gave the Green Bay Packers an A for that deal, and McKinney was ranked number 8 on the list of top 150 available free agents. And all I have to say to that is, Green Bay, you done fucked up. Okay? As much as McKinney, we were talking, man, I don't know if I've been I've had a more polarizing defender in recent memory. I can't name off the top of my head, but a guy that's like maybe along the lines of Janoris Jenkins, maybe. But McKinney didn't miss a snap last season, right? And played really well. Had a bunch of picks. But there were. You cannot ignore the fact that there were a handful of games where we questioned his motivation, his desire, his toughness, his willingness to get dirty, just not tackling. This deal is reminiscent of the Landon Collins ordeal, where it's like, we're not going to pay Landon Collins that much money. We cannot pay him that much money. And then he goes and signs a big deal with the Commanders, and is like, he did not play up to that contract at all. And The Athletic also had an article about how like safeties are going the way of the running back, where it's like you're seeing all these big contracts handed out to safeties a couple of years ago, and they're all getting cut and released and traded or whatever. So you just don't pay a safety that much money. Saquon was a different story. I think he was worth the money. McKinney, no, is not worth that kind of money. Definitely not. For sure not. So, and maybe he'll make me eat my words, but I guarantee. So he'll have a good first year, for sure. And then the second year, third year, and fourth year, you'll see worse. And by the end of the contract, you're going to be like, whew, baby. Really took a hit on that. So who do we get to fill in the void left by one Xavier McKinney? Defensive back Jalen Mills. He signed a 1-year contract. Is for the veteran salary benefit. So it's a league minimum with a reduced cap hit. You know, he was a 7th-round pick in 2016, played in 106 regular season games and 4 postseason games across 8 seasons with the Eagles and Patriots. Career-wise, 400 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 7 QB hits, 7 picks, with 1 returned for a touchdown, 53 passes defended, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 fumble recovery. 6'2" hundo. Played a key role in the Eagles' 2017 Super Bowl run. Had a huge year then. This is, to me, the screams of like, we need veteran presence in the secondary, knowing that Adoree Jackson's not coming back. And maybe this is the guy to provide that. I gotta look at his stats. Give me those stats. Sexy stats. Yeah, 2017 was his best year, 7 AV. And then 2021 with the Pats, he had a 6 AV. So, he's, with the exception of 2022, he's had at least 15. Oh, no, that's wrong. He only had 8 starts for New England this past year. With a 4 approximate value. So it feels like he's not necessarily a depth piece, but just he's not going to be your starter. He's going to be maybe Pinnock and Belton are your 2 guys, right? Your 2 starters, and then you have Mills kind of hanging out and causing a motherfucking ruckus. Just being that little annoying gnat. It's just like ball hawking all over the place. So yeah, that's free agency.